Good morning Year 10 and welcome to your online lesson for today. Today we are going to be continuing with the analysis of Bach's Badinnery, which is one of your set works. I know you started this with Miss Ogden and we're going to aim to finish this today. The objectives of today's lesson are to be able to analyse the B section of Bach's Badinnery and to be able to answer exam-style questions on the piece. To start the lesson, I would like you to answer the following questions, which are Activity 5.1 in your booklet. Tell me about the instruments used in the piece, the structure, the type of cadences most used, and the texture of the piece. Pause here and write down your answers. Here are the answers. The instruments are a transverse flute, string orchestra, and harpsichord, with the harpsichord forming part of the basso continuo. The structure is binary. Section A starts at bar 1 and continues until beat 1 of bar 16. Section B starts at beat 2 of bar 16 and continues until bar 40, which is the end of the piece. The majority of the cadences are perfect or imperfect, and the texture is homophonic, which is melody and accompaniment. In this case, the flute and cello play the majority of the melody. For today's listening exercise, I would like you to listen to Bach's Sarabande from French Suite No. 6. When you're listening to it, I would like you to think about the following and take notes in your booklets. The tempo. Can you describe it using Italian terminology? The dynamics. Can you describe how they change rather than just stating a dynamic? The instrumentation. What instruments would you generally expect to hear in a piece of Bach's music? And what do you hear in this piece? The melody. Is it conjunct, disjunct, scalic, or something else? Feel free to use as many words as you can to describe it. And the pitch. Is it mostly high or mostly low? Do different instruments play in different registers? And because this is by the same composer as our set work, what are the similarities and differences you can hear with the Badinnery? Press pause here and write down your ideas. Now we're going to move on to analysis, which is the main part of today's lesson. If you feel really confident answering these questions, then just work through activities 4.3 and 4.4. You can pause the video now. If you want a little bit more help with answering these questions, then have a go at the first 3 questions of activity 4.3, and then we will review the answers in the video. Pause here and have a go at whichever one you've chosen. So, here are the answers to the first 3 questions of activity 4.3. Notice how I have written in full sentences and have included as much information as I possibly can. I'd like you now to continue to work through the questions and answer in full sentences with as much information as you can. We will be going through these in next week's lesson. Pause here. We're almost at the end of today's lesson. For the next 8 to 10 minutes, I would like you to have a go at rhythmic dictation, which is where we listen to a rhythm and write it down. There is a link on Show My Homework that will allow you to do this. Pause here. We've reached the end of today's lesson. Before you go, I would like you to click on the link either in Show My Homework or listed below, which will take you to an MS form, which will allow me to see how you've got on with today's lesson and what we need to work on in future lessons. Thank you very much for all your hard work today, Year 10, and I'm looking forward to seeing you when you're back in school.